Here's Johnny.
I'll be back.
And you will know my name is the Lord.
I'm walking here.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Groovy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Box Office Pulp, the podcast for movies, madness, moxie, and etc. Tonight, the Box Office Pulp crew is taking a look at the cinematic landscape for the 2013 summer season. Before we jump into that, though, let's meet our hosts. First up, we've got Mr. Mike Napier, who is currently trying to convince the people of Chicago that he is the current vessel for the soul of the late Roger Ebert. Say hello.
How'd you know I was doing that?
I know these things.
Fucking blew my cover.
Sorry. Alrighty. Next up is MB, the only man to have actually seen the Mandarin coming.
It was disturbing and really messy.
I don't want to know.
It was all over his cape.
God,
It was green for some reason. And really racist.
Are we talking about the Martian Manhunter?
Also, it stained his rings.
Okay, wait. A good, 20 seconds and a cum joke. That was quick.
It's a new record.
No.
Yeah.
We should be proud of that.
Cassandra's really going to be able to listen to this one.
My family's so proud of me. Alrighty. Lastly, in studying 3D at 48 frames per second, Mr. James Lewis.
Oh, I think I saw something. No.
I'm actually getting a headache from looking at you. It's terrible. You look like you're on video.
Hero, stop doing that.
Oh, God.
I'm unstuck in time.
I think I'm going to throw up. Oh, also, I'm Flexo, a.k.a. Cody, or whatever you want to call me. Anyways, I'll be your host.
Can I call you Shaft?
Flexo.
Shut your mouth. Yeah, Shaft works. I mean, I'm not going to deny it.
Now that we've established all the things.
Let's just talk about Shaft.
There's no Shaft movie coming out this summer, so don't even try it.
Okay,
God damn
how
it.
amazing would it be if we had that introduction, and then we just talked about Shaft?
It's the old bait and switch. The audience never sees it coming.
For 2.5 hours.
Maybe
Talk about
next
Shaft,
time.
everybody.
No, not today.
I'm the Shaft! I just wanted to do that.
That sounded terrible. No, I'm moving on.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I breathed fire and everything. It was impressive.
Wonderful.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So before we jump into the movies, shut up. Before we jump into the movies that are coming out this summer, or have yet to come out this summer at the time of this podcast, let's just spend a couple of minutes looking at what's already come out in the late spring, early summer time. We've had Oblivion. I don't know. Did any of you guys actually check that out?
I really want to, but I haven't managed to get to the theater much.
I want to, but I'm poor.
It's impressive because you get to see Tom Cruise apparently pull himself out of cryostasis when he was 30. Like, the guy doesn't age. It's starting to concern me a little bit. Like, there's a painting somewhere in his closet that's just getting crappier and crappier.
Lazarus Pits, man. Lazarus Pits.
It's the
His head
only
is Satan
way.
surgically removed.
All right. Well, I did see Oblivion. I thought it was entertaining. I will own the Blu-ray when it comes out, and it's on sale. Didn't blow my mind, but entertaining. Definitely some cool-looking aerial flights. So that's nice.
And there's Morgan Freeman as one of the last people on Earth.
Apocalyptic Freeman.
Yep, smoking a cigar. Got on his big mole man glasses. What more could you ask for? So we've got Oblivion. All right. Apparently some people saw it, some being me. There were like 3 people in theater when I saw it, so no one actually saw Oblivion, I guess. But we also had Iron Man 3. And
Yeah.
I don't want to spend too much time on this because apparently tensions run high over Iron Man 3 sentiment.
Yeah, we don't want another Dark Knight Rises 4-parter over this. But
Okay. Here's how I would have done the Mandarin.
But here's, needless to say, more than one of us have seen it. I have seen it. Flexo has seen it.
It's true.
The other 2 have not seen it. So
Also true.
I practically have seen it.
I have read things on the internet.
I've spoiler seen it.
That's close enough, really.
I've seen it enough to not see it.
That's how Mike sees all movies.
Although it's a little surprising considering the movie's made like $1 billion at the box office. Statistically, you probably have seen it and you just don't know it.
Like
You're
in
seeing
my
it right
sleep?
now.
Yeah, that's how they're getting those numbers up.
We've been movie raped.
Yeah.
What is Belcher
You'll
being?
never see me coming.
That's what they meant.
Yeah.
Remember, I did see it everywhere.
Everyone remember. Ooh.
I'm coming. Sorry.
I'm gonna keep moving. So, we've had a okay May so far here. Nothing too spectacular. I enjoyed Iron Man 3. MB apparently not the biggest fan in the world.
I'll say this. I liked 2/3 of it.
All right.
And then it completely nosedived, but that's another discussion for another time.
Yeah. And we still have Star Trek Into Darkness coming up, so who knows how that could be. I'm hoping for good.
I've heard that it's good, but it's not as good as the first movie, so I'm waiting to see how that plays out.
With the
First
title like
movie set up a pretty high bar, so that's not really an insult.
No, I'm not bothered by that. It's just
And it's got the Cumberbatch.
Of course.
With his face that's just chiseled out of mountain rock.
I just feel like
batching everywhere.
what? Something wrong with you, boy? I just feel like with the title Into Darkness, it has to be something really wacky. Like there's why else use Into Darkness? I feel like there's something that we don't know about that's going to be amazing in there.
Actually going to go into darkness.
We found darkness.
It's
We're going to go into it.
It's a Star Trek Darkness like crossover event.
I'm just a little confused. Like, what are they going to do for the porn parody? Like, Sex Trek Into Her Darkness?
Yeah, you just saw it right there. There you go.
Oh. They should send me a royalty check or something.
See, we're solving problems here on Box Office Pulp.
Like so, porn producer.
Industry problems. Shaft.
Money, money, money.
Sorry.
But by the time this podcast airs, Star Trek will have already been out, and we'll have made up our minds, and we'll probably complain about it on Facebook. Or not. Maybe we'll really enjoy it. You never really know. It's a toss-up.
If it's us and we hate it, expect a 5-part podcast dedicated towards that.
There'll probably be some poetry written about it, like epic, long verse poems.
Michael break out the Poetic Edda again.
Interesting to note, I reference the Poetic Edda in every episode of this podcast. It just gets edited out.
Sometimes it just runs a
press
little
the
long.
Poetic Edda, Flexo.
Don't question me.
Flexo.
But that's besides the point. Those are movies that will be in the past by the time this podcast is out. So we want to look to the future. June, July, a little bit of August. All of August. Whatever.
The future, Flexo?
The future. Yeah. So on that note, what are we excited for? If you had to pick your number one movie, if you had to force an old lady into a cinema, like she didn't want to, but you made her go into a theater, what would you make her see?
Wait. Why?
Wait, I object to this proposition.
Yeah, why are you going with this? I don't want to have anything to do with this.
Look, she's so old, she probably won't survive all the way through summer, and two, she's so old, she's probably too slow to get into the theater by the time it starts.
But why is there coercion?
Why are we kidnapping an old woman we don't know, and we're just assuming she's gonna die soon, and we're forcing her to watch a movie? Why do we want her?
You guys, I don't know why you have a problem with this. I am all for this idea.
Thank you. Someone with sense.
Okay.
Mike, pick. Too slow. Hero, pick.
Man of Steel.
Oh,
Would you like that one?
Unfortunately, no. It's too long. She'll be dead at the halfway mark, but that's okay.
And then she'll
Well, at least she died looking at Henry Cavill's cock.
I don't think that's actually in the movie, but...
Have you seen that costume?
It's basically just a long, giant schlong.
Is that why you're excited for it, James? Is that like, Man of Steel, all right?
Pretty much, yeah.
How about this? How about I wait a few weeks, and it's a double feature Man of Steel and Pacific Rim, and we all win.
But that would be too long for the old lady.
Exactly.
Once again, I don't care about the old lady.
Wow,
Well, you should. She's really nice.
I bought her a meal there. She ate before she died during Man of Steel.
Look, Edna is a sweet lady, and you should treat her like a princess.
Listen, I have a adrenaline syringe with me. I'll inject into her heart, pop her right back up to the end credits.
But what if she wakes up and she's like, "It was so good there. Why did you do that to me?"
And then I'll spread her ashes during Pacific Rim.
But she's not dead yet. You just woke her up.
There's a lot of plot holes in here.
She dies during the trailers for Pacific Rim.
Wait, you brought her back to life just so she could see trailers? What kind of heartless monster are you?
She could just watch those now. She probably has a smartphone.
Well, the rest of Man of Steel. Well, she does not have a smartphone.
This is my world. I make the rules.
Mike can't win.
Anyways.
Fine, I'm going to take her to see VHS 2.
Superman.
Oh, Superman. Actually, VHS 2 looks pretty awesome. They just released a trailer today. Very excited. Anyways, Superman. Now, Mike, you're a pretty big fan of Superman Returns, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is everyone here a fan of Superman Returns but me?
Yes.
I don't really care for it.
Civil War time.
So long since I've seen it, I can't say either way.
All right.
Superman Returns is an okay movie. I just don't have any strong feelings either way.
Yeah.
MB, we've had such long discussion about how awesome Superman Returns is. Why back down now? For the pressures of Hero.
It was mostly you talking.
Sure.
He faked every orgasm.
Stop backing down, MB. Fight Hero back. But no, Superman Returns is awesome. Fuck you guys.
All right. Well, I'm excited for Man of Steel just because I feel like I didn't care for Superman Returns, and I'm excited to see a Superman movie where it looks like Superman is ready to just like beat some dudes up.
Because when I think an awesome movie, I think about just a dude punching somebody else.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, that's what makes a good movie, right?
Pretty much. That's 90% of it.
Another guy punching somebody.
The other 10% is Vin Diesel. That's a surefire.
Oh my God,
combination.
Vin Diesel is Lex Luthor.
It could work.
Does that mean Paul Walker is Brainiac?
Okay, we missed Paul Walker.
Sense?
Let's move on.
No, we haven't gotten Man of Steel at all. People seem excited for this one. I think it's going to be pretty big. I'm super pumped. I think going with Zod at first seemed like an odd choice, considering, well, we've already seen him.
Still is.
Now, I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it. The closer it gets to release date, the more excitement I have. You know, the trailers make it look like it's pretty cool. I'm a little iffy on Zack Snyder. I mean, he's done some really cool stuff, but I also feel like he's missed the mark quite a bit on some of his films. Like, he tried so hard on Watchmen, but didn't quite get there.
Zack Snyder's grown a lot as a filmmaker. I mean, you can just see that from the trailers. It looks nothing like a Zack Snyder movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was mad on it until the third trailer.
You either love Zack Snyder or you hate Zack Snyder, and honestly, this movie looks so far from a Zack Snyder movie that if you were told that he directed it, I think someone would actually have a hard time believing that, because it looks like essentially the Nolan version of Superman, except done a lot better than he would probably do it.
It looks more like a J.J. Abrams Superman movie than that actual Superman movie J.J. Abrams tried to make.
Yeah, actually, I could see that.
I mean, it basically takes all the fundamental Superman elements, but it treats the character in seemingly an epic way. Like, it's actually trying to go out of its way to say, Superman is the best superhero out there. Let's show the audience why. And I think that's a smart way to go about it, because with so many comic book movies that have come out over the last few years, I think Superman's an easy hero to forget because, you know, everyone tends to lean towards the dark, the torturous hero. They don't really think of the superhero archetype that Superman established. So he really needs like a big movie to bring him back to the forefront in the current wave of like the Marvel movies and the Nolan Batman movies. Hopefully this movie is the one that does it, because it seems like this is like the best chance that it has as far as bringing it back to a public consciousness.
Although
there is a lot riding on this movie.
Yeah, we do have to be a little concerned. If this is successful, it pretty much guarantees we're going to be seeing a really bad Justice League movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm not worried about that. It's just, if it doesn't end up being successful, then we're never going to see any DC movies.
Yeah, that's the other side of it. I don't know if DC is competent enough, though, to
Like, I'd rather
make me care.
I'd rather see a bad Justice League movie than never see Flash or Wonder Woman on screen.
Yeah, very true.
So,
Also,
it's not so much that this movie, I want this movie to succeed, even though I do. It's more that it has to succeed for the future of DC comic films. Which is a weird position for the movie to be in, especially right
No
after
pressure.
Iron Man grossed $1 billion overseas.
Yeah, it is kind of like DC's Iron Man now. That was
Yeah,
the
in a
movie
weird
that really
way.
kicked off the whole age of Marvel movies.
Like,
Like,
everything
if Iron
is...
Man had bombed, nothing
Yeah.
would have happened after that.
There would be no Avengers. But
And at the very least, if this is successful and we get another Superman movie, you might actually have the underwear this time.
yeah,
Or halfway decent costume.
costume's fine.
I think the costume's okay. I don't really have any
No,
complaints about the
Costume's
costume.
grown on me.
It's not. It still has terrible texture.
I don't really care for the texture, but the look of it's grown on me.
I'm less concerned about the costume and more concerned about the fact that it looks like they're going to be doing the origin story again.
Yeah.
Exciting. Can't
Because
wait.
I could care less about origin stories and superheroes right now. I would love it if they just jumped in, the guy had powers, didn't even explain why, just went with it.
The thing I
They
think
should just not even explain Superman. Just boom, he's there.
Exactly.
They
He
never
shows up
acknowledge
picking
that
up
he's
cars
Clark.
and stuff.
the thing that I think is kind of the saving grace of that point is the fact that the last time we saw Superman's origin on film was the 70s.
We get a little bit of it in Superman Returns, but it's kind of flashback stuff.
It's barely, like, it's kind of a cliff note, which is arguably how it should have been done.
Yeah.
But
Everybody
at the
knows
same-
Superman's origin.
But we also, like, if you look at Smallville, that's pretty much one entire series showing the origin of Superman.
Yeah.
yeah, but at the
Doing
same
it in
time,
the
it's like
worst way possible.
we knew Batman's origin, and Batman Begins was a good movie. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but not a lot of, to be fair, not a lot of regular people knew Batman's origin in, like, good detail. Like, they knew the gist of it, but they didn't really, like, the really good, like, year one version of it.
And to be fair, we still have no idea how much of his origin is really going to be covered in the movie, despite what's...
To be fair, we actually don't even know, we don't even know if they're gonna actually portray Superman correctly in the movie. I hope so, but...
I have faith. I have faith in Zack Snyder.
I was worried about that more towards the beginning of the production. Now it's kind of, the more I've seen of it, the more that it seems like, yeah, they're going to do Superman right, at very least.
No, I'm just worried because of the current way DC likes to portray Superman.
Well, let's just pray DC has no influence whatsoever over it, because holy crap.
Except with the costume.
Even the fucking costume.
Well, maybe if it was better. I know MB's very much more combative when the recorder is on.
You told him to stop backing down. You made this monster.
You made this MB.
Well, it's a hero with his southern bullshit.
You have your own southern bullshit.
I just wanted to say southern bullshit, because I don't know what that means.
Fair enough.
I think that's an actual term.
I think it is, too. It's just, I don't want to
That's
know
a
what
drink.
it means.
Ugh.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like Southern Comfort.
Oh, I was thinking it'd be like a malt.
But going back to Superman, let's just kind of quickly, I think, like, run down what do we hope is good and what do we hope they don't
Does not
screw
happen.
up.
Considering it's Superman, I'm pretty excited just for the spectacle of it. Like seeing Superman flying around, lifting up cars, whatever else. Just showing the fact that he is super is exciting. Because we've got a lot of heroes like Batman where not really that much for powers. Even stuff like Captain America, while he is a superhero, they kind of limit what his powers can do, his super strength and regeneration and all of that. So I'm excited to see a hero who's really powerful.
Yeah,
I really
I
don't
mean,
see that.
there was one shot in one of the trailers where it was the first time I realized we've never really seen Superman go all out as far as his powers are concerned, and that's when he is shooting down towards Zod, who is coming up from Metropolis, and it's something like everything a superhero movie should have been, but nobody's really capitalized on in any of them.
Yeah, the only time we've ever seen a real Superman type action scene is in Superman 2.
Or
And
in
the
like
closest we've gotten in recent years is Hancock.
Or, like, essentially the Abomination Hulk fight in The Incredible Hulk was like the first time we saw a superpowered hero and a superpowered villain going at it in that way, in that like comic book type way where it's like cities are falling because these two are fighting. So I'm excited for that aspect of it too.
Definitely. And I guess another thing that seems interesting is they keep talking about how they cracked Superman as a character, which has me intrigued and a little nervous.
Yeah, because I hope they're just saying that because people so often misunderstand Superman that they kind of have to say, look, we're doing the definitive Superman, and getting more people incited by that because they don't necessarily like Superman as he is, but there is a character there that they have to honor, and that is still, even with my optimism, my biggest fear, because Superman is very much the non-torture, dark, so like they talk about a lot of him searching for soul in this movie, and I hope that's done in the positive way and not the he's a brooding hero way.
Yeah,
Because
That's something I was very worried about for whenever the first trailers premiered, but it seems to be, all signs seem to be pointing that they're not going towards that direction.
I hope not, but it's still a worry. Especially when they start throwing around terms like modernization and things like that. That stuff's
which is like one of the antithesis of Superman's character is that he's constantly outdated in the world around him, and that's what he constantly has to fight to justify in his heroism, which I hope they touch upon, because he's grown up with such ideals that they're sort of meant to be timeless. So making that more of a modernization seems like sort of the opposite of what the character is supposed to be. So I'm hoping that it just pertains to the world that he inhabits, not Superman himself. I hope that he's still very much the hero, because that's another thing that surprisingly a lot of comic book movies don't get right, is that the hero doesn't really – he saves the day, but he's not really heroic. Like, they don't really go out of their way to portray them as heroic. They just portray them doing their jobs, and then they go back to, the end scene.
Yeah.
So hopefully Superman is an exception, because he, of all the superheroes that have ever existed, he's the one that embodies that type.
Whose ass is going to be in the theater when it comes out?
My ass.
Oh yeah. All right, so we got two people. I mean, that's being.
I'm gonna sit crotch first, if that. So my dick will be in the theater.
I'm gonna be hanging upside down.
Like, now, here's the real question: if you, instead of dragging Edna to Man of Steel, drag her into The Lone Ranger, how do you think she will enjoy that film?
Well, she'd enjoy the racism, so.
That was my favorite part, and then she drops over dead.
I loved how that white man was playing Redskin.
Hey, Johnny Depp's like 1/600th Apache.
Yeah, get off his dick.
Johnny Depp was in this country long before any of us, so he has that right.
I would not be surprised by that.
I thought you were going to say he's been in this country long before the Indians.
I would not be surprised by that.
I was going to say.
Hey, this is my land. Get off. Oh, okay. You can stay.
I'm really looking forward to Lone Ranger, though, all things considered. The alleged trailer was but I usually don't let trailers bum me out too much.
I was a little nervous considering the set reports that they had to cut back on a lot of the supernatural elements. 2, that there were going to be supernatural elements, and 3, that the budget ballooned so bad.
Yeah, well, it's a Gore Verbinski movie. That's what he does. It's just one thing. My budget.
He creates countries with his money.
But it's Gore Verbinski, so I definitely want to give it a chance. I loved Rango. The first Pirates movie was really good, so I'll be there. I'll give it a shot.
I have to say, I was kind of worried about it just because the Lone Ranger isn't really a character that I've ever been in love with. Like, nobody, I don't think anyone can really claim to be in love with the Lone Ranger.
No.
At least if you're under the age of 60.
But honestly, it has grown on me the more I've seen trailers. Like, it honestly looks like a really fun movie, if anything.
It looks like they're making kind of a cool Lone Ranger movie.
I'm excited for the idea that they're basically doing the Big Trouble in Little China thing, with Tonto basically being the main character.
That was a little strange when they started the marketing.
Yeah.
Like you saw like 2 frames of the Lone Ranger in the teaser trailer.
Mm-hmm. Even the initial poster was Tonto.
Yes.
But I guess if you're advertising on Johnny Depp's name, you're probably going to be better off than advertising Army Hammer.
Yeah. Which, to be honest, is like I am so much happier that he's playing the Lone Ranger than Batman.
I think he still thinks he's going to be Batman one day.
I think he
Someday.
does.
Probably.
He looks pretty cool as a Lone Ranger, all things, you know.
Yeah, and honestly,
cool.
like I'm intrigued by Johnny Depp as Tonto. Like, even if it is a little, well, not a little, but
Let's face it,
looks
it's going to be
racist.
awesome.
It's got that. It kind of has a Jack Sparrow feel to it, which makes me nervous. We know Johnny Depp can do he has a lot of range, so we don't want to see him going back and redoing, you know, that character every single movie. But I'm hoping this is a little different.
well, Tonto won't be a drunk, so
We don't know that.
That you know of.
He could be on
The
peyote.
movie could be that racist.
smoke 'em peace pipe.
You know, I don't find Johnny Depp's voice to be that racist, which is weird.
No.
It toes a weird line. Like it
That is a
should be,
fast-
but it's not.
That's
like-
a fascinating go-around they did with that character, though. We're not going to put him in red face, so we're just going to put him in white makeup, so you don't know if he's Indian or not. Like, we're not
It's sort of-
saying he isn't.
It's sort of like just the tip racism.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna tease you with racism. You like that? You like that? Want us to put
You
it
can
in?
take
No,
off
we're
that
not.
makeup in any moment and be in red face. You don't even know.
And they do have a
That's the
child
absolute
version
thing.
of him that's clearly Native American.
Oh yeah.
I hope,
He
they
is
do,
Also played by Johnny Depp.
I hope they do a fade out from the kid's face into adult Tonto.
He hadn't earned his white face yet.
I do love that fucking crow though.
So the consensus seems to be that Edna would just be overjoyed to see the Lone Ranger, which is
Yeah.
good. She should be happy in her final hours.
Though, listen, if we're just doing something for her, I'd probably take her to see Despicable Me too. Because old people fucking love kids movies.
Everyone seems to think the Minions are the cutest things in the world.
I never even saw the first one, but if we're doing this for her, I will bite the bullet.
The first one was
you know,
alright.
Flexo is more of a mastermind guy. Or Megamind, I'm sorry.
I actually love Megamind. It's a fantastic movie. Whereas Mastermind, fuck it. Despicable Me.
It's the Patrick Stewart movie from the 90s, Mastermind.
Mastermind. Oh boy. I'm not even going to follow that up. I'm just going to move on. Really, the correct answer is, if you had to take Edna to any one film, it'd be Pacific Rim. Whether she wanted to see it or not, you just make her go. That's the best for her, best for everyone.
So I was
Even
right.
though that would give her the immediate stroke, just because
Doesn't
of so
matter.
many colors on film.
Talking like that, she would have died the moment she saw The Wizard of Oz.
So
But-
how fucking excited are we for Pacific Rim?
Oh man, I'm on 11 for Pacific Rim.
I don't
Just
think we
the
need
shot of Ron Perlman in the trailer was enough to get me excited for Pacific Rim.
Oh,
I don't think we can even add anything. We're just
Everyone needs to go see it. If this movie does not make millions and millions of dollars at the box office, I'm going to be ashamed of every single person in the world.
Like,
well, it does come out on the same day as Grown Ups 2. I mean, come on.
that's stiff competition.
It's kind of like this, like when you're describing Pacific Rim. Imagine when you were a kid and you were playing with action figures. Now imagine that as a movie.
Pretty much.
A $1 billion movie with amazing special effects.
And each country gets its own robot.
And
The
GLaDOS
toys.
is in there.
One of them wields a submarine, for God's sake.
Oh. There's like a flying gorilla monster. I don't know what else you could ask for, people. It's got everything I want.
It's like Del Toro is in his element for the first time, even though he's been in his element for every movie he's ever made.
I feel like he's making this out of spite. Like, fine, won't let me do The Hobbit? I'll show you all.
This is my Hobbit.
He goes into a room for 2 hours and comes out with a completed film.
There.
The
You can
tagline should just be Del Toro with money. That's it.
Pretty much.
Or Idris Elba, just like, yep, I'm in it. I got a cool speech. And then everyone would be like, all right, well, I'll watch for that.
Hands up!
And also, am I the only one that's amazed that Charlie Day is in this movie?
Yes, he is. You can kind of forget that because they don't focus on it too much in the trailer so far, but also
I mean-
great. And there's that dude from Sons of Anarchy. He looks promising, I guess.
He's kind of the lead guy in an action movie where it's like, yeah, he's cool, but look at all the other actors.
His supporting cast is so good you can forgive him being... I can't even say bad, he's just kind of an unknown at this point.
Yeah.
Plus, I feel a little bad they saddled him with an American accent, considering the film is such a big presence of the international community. Like,
Listen.
he's not American. You think they could just give him his natural accent and no one would care?
Americans won't go see a movie that doesn't have people speaking with an American accent. And they don't want to hear anybody speaking that funny talk.
You think Ron Perlman would be American enough for the entire movie? By the way, I hope Perlman actually gets a mech at some point. And it just looks like Ron Perlman. Dispatching Mecha Perlman.
Well, then the movie be over. So, no real point to it.
He's actually just playing Ron Perlman in the movie.
Hey, folks, I'm TV's Ron Perlman.
But he has an Australian accent for no reason.
I'm just imagining Man of Steel. Jor-El is actually Ron Perlman.
I thought you were going to say instead of sending Kal-El to Earth, he just sends the Ron Perlman mech.
Ron Perlman just flies to Earth and takes care of all the problems.
It's okay, folks. I'm here.
Sorry,
there's no more crime now. Oh, well.
I'm just imagining Russell Crowe putting a full-grown Ron Perlman into a capsule and landing in Kevin Costner and Diane Lane's cornfield, and they raise an adult Ron Perlman and instill him with values.
The ship is just shaped like Ron Perlman's head. The mouth opens up, young Perlman walks out, who looks just like old Perlman.
The chin just splits open.
He's naked in a blanket.
He battles kaiju.
He speaks in baby talk. Goo goo.
Wow. Boy, I'm so
He's a baby, he's smoking a cigar.
He just wears a cape with his face on it.
On my planet, it means hope.
By the way, I'm so blown away that we're actually getting a kaiju movie where they use the word kaiju.
Wonderful things happen when you give Del Toro cash.
Once again, that should be the tagline.
Del Toro with money, bitches.
You thought Hellboy 2 was impressive? That was $90 million, bitch. This is twice that. 3 times that.
This is Del Toro with that Gore Verbinski money.
So, I don't think we can add anything else besides everyone go see Pacific Rim. Do it. On the other end of the spectrum, there's the Wolverine, which I don't care if you see it or not. Whatever.
Hey!
I'm going to see the fuck out of it.
Alright, that's
looking
cool.
forward to Wolverine.
I mean, I'll probably watch it, but if there's more stuff like the adamantium bullet from the first Wolverine, yeah, I'm done.
I think they've learned their lesson.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a retread of X-Men Origins. It looks like they're finally deciding, well, you know, Wolverine is a really popular character and he deserves a really good movie.
Although they are doing the route where he loses his power.
Yeah, that was a little questionable.
That was weird, but I trust
but only
Gold. It was his idea.
But only because it's not in the original story. Like,
yeah.
I think that's a big bias against it in that it's based off of the single best Wolverine story that's ever been told.
Old Man Logan?
Fuck you. I'm slowly getting over Aronofsky not doing it and it being a straight adaptation of the comic, where people, are speaking Japanese and all that.
We all knew it was too good to be true. That was never going to happen.
I know.
Yeah. But one thing that really sold me on it was just the fact that we're finally getting a movie where Wolverine fights ninjas.
I know. After over a decade.
The twist will be the ninjas are actually just white guys, and they'll take off their masks and then explain their whole plan, and then breathe fire.
Ninja?
Aww.
What the hell is ninja?
We're special ops.
I mean, look at the posters. It's just Wolverine surrounded by ninja.
How awesome.
Ninjas are coming out of his mouth.
Wolverine just spitting ninjas all over. They're everywhere.
Like, every poster for this film has been awesome to me.
No, there was one really bad one. They had a couple bad ones. Wolverine's had some really bad posters.
But at the beginning of the ad campaign, they had some amazing posters.
They still have a few. There was only like really one bad one that was kind of photoshopped, but
they've had people stealing their posters because they're so awesome.
X-Men has had a lot of, like, as a series, X-Men has been cursed with some really bad posters. I don't know what it is about that series. Oh. My favorite is X-Men 3. Stand tall, and it's a poster of Professor X in his wheelchair.
I remember that one.
I can't find it. Like, I was trying to find a good picture of it, and I think somehow they scrubbed it off the internet.
Fox does not make good posters. Let's face it.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm really excited for the Wolverine, just because they've been trying to do this storyline for so long, and they're finally getting their chance. And it's not something that was already addressed in another X-Men movie, but then just lazily done as a cheap throwback so they could make a first X-Men movie. Or a first Wolverine movie, I mean.
Do any of you guys have, like, Hugh Jackman fatigue at this point?
I will never get tired of seeing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Never. Blasphemy.
I'm a little frustrated because he always shows up and, becomes Wolverine and his best buddies fighting other mutants. And I would love to see it if they maybe did an X-Men movie where he was not the primary focus. I loved it in First Class, yeah. I mean, they just had the cameo in there. That was fantastic. But, the next X-Men looks like more Wolverine.
Well,
to be fair, we don't know that much about Days of Future Past.
That's true.
Days of Future Past did feature Wolverine prominently.
Yeah.
I think all he's going to do is stand in front of a poster and hold his hand out. That'll be his entire role in the movie.
He assumes the Sentinel's vision is based on movement, so he just stays in front of that poster.
They keep cutting back to him. I think they're gone.
It's like the Emperor's New Groove. He's summing out his own theme music.
How was that Wolverine's theme music?
What is wrong with you?
Well, it could have been.
I will walk out of this podcast.
Oh, wait, I do want to say one thing about the quality of the Wolverine. Tom Rothman has been fired. And since
now, that should be on the poster.
And since Wolverine has come out, they've made First Class, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. They've made a bit of a turnaround, Fox.
Yeah, Fox is a different company than the one that made X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Although they're terrible with their titles. X-Men Origins Wolverine, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Why can't they just get nice short titles?
Well, they got the Wolverine.
Exactly. I
wasn't bothered by Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I mean, look at the other titles in that series.
Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
I still like the original title, Caesar. But, yeah.
No, it has to mention Planet of the Apes.
Well, it was Caesar.
Branding, Mike.
Then it was Rise. Then literally 2 days before the trailer came out, they changed it to Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I understand.
Yeah, it used to be Rise of the Apes, wasn't it?
Well, it was Caesar, then Rise of the Apes, then Rise of the Planet of the Apes. That's it.
It just kept getting more wordier.
At least they didn't have the problem with John Carter.
We don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
They changed the name of the
Presenting Steve.
JC of M, yo.
They just named the Wolverine Wolf.
Either that, or they just name it the Japan story.
No, I've been saying this since it was announced. Wolverines. Hugh Jackman's on the ceiling. Ah,
they're everywhere.
They're so pretty.
They're all smiling and wearing tuxes.
Oh wait,
They're on Broadway.
This is off topic. Did you see those set pictures of Hugh Jackman on Days of Future Past where he's just sitting around with his pants unbuckled? And just wide open? Just sitting there outside?
Airing that shit out.
It's so weird. Like, why is he just sitting there like that? His arms are at his side, he's leaning back, like, is he getting an invisible blowjob? I don't understand what's going on.
No questions, just accept it.
I think you already answered that. Like, he is getting an invisible blowjob.
Well, if you see those pictures of him on the beach where he's getting invisible beaten up, I'm assuming he has an invisible friend.
This is actually a crossover with R.I.P.D. Did that make that movie better or worse?
I think Hugh Jackman would make it better.
I was talking about invisible blowjobs.
Oh. You're saying that's not in R.I.P.D.? I mean...
I haven't seen the film, I can't
Bridges.
say.
That movie looks awesome just for Jeff Bridges.
Just replaying Rooster Cogburn.
Exactly. I actually heard the script for that movie was actually pretty good.
Huh.
Here's a weird thing about R.I.P.D. Have you noticed that every couple of years in Hollywood, like not often, but like maybe every 6 or 7 years, they try to make another Ghostbusters?
Aykroyd has been trying to make Ghostbusters 3 for like the last 20 years consecutively. He just is terrible at getting it done.
No, I mean like a studio tries to make their Ghostbusters.
I gotcha.
I remember there was Evolution. Like that was going to be the new Ghostbusters.
I was so sad when I was like the only person in the theater watching Evolution.
I had the same experience.
I remember the animated series being decent.
There's an
That
animated
was
series
back
for
when
Evolution?
There
That was
was.
back when everything had an animated series.
Oh, weird.
I found out the Godzilla animated series ran for way more episodes than I thought. I thought it ran for like 20.
You're not the only one that thought of the Godzilla animated series when he said that, because that was my first thought.
I loved Godzilla the animated series. It was awesome.
It was actually good.
Look, Godzilla's coming out later in the year. Back on
That
top.
is true.
All right.
R.I.P.D.
No, let's not even waste time. How about, what about Kick-Ass 2? I'm pretty mixed on this one, although I'm very surprised it's even happening, so I might have to give it a shot.
I think we're all mixed on Kick-Ass too.
It does have Jim Carrey.
I'm not. To be honest, I think it looks really fun.
MB, convince us to see this movie. Now.
And
Pressure's on MB.
I have nothing.
I don't know, it looks a lot cheaper than the first one, and it doesn't have Nick
see that.
Cage, but I don't know. I'd still
It does
be
have Jim
interested.
Carrey
It does have Jim Carrey, which probably makes up for a lot of things.
as the Nick Cage role. That's what he's credited as. You're our Nick Cage for this movie. Nothing about that about the trailers have turned me off. Really, it's just Bond and Goldman not returning, and written and directed by the guy who did Wolf Creek, or I'm sorry, Cry Wolf.
Yeah.
That other wolf horror movie.
Big difference.
Nothing in the trailer turned me off. It just, there was like something about the tone or the way the scenes played out it just seemed off for some reason.
I'm still hoping for it to be good. I mean, like I
That's
said, nothing about it turned me off. It's just, we'll
I'll
wait
see
and
it. Don't get me wrong, but, you know.
I mean, Carrie alone is worth the price of admission.
And honestly, something that worries me, and this is going back to Goldman and Bond not being involved, is it's an adaptation of a horrible Mark Millar story.
Well, to be fair, like half of Kick-Ass was a horrible Mark Millar story.
Yeah, but that had Matthew Vaughn and Jane Goldman salvaging it and making it a good movie.
That is true.
Like, I don't know if anybody other than them can just filter the crap out of Mark Millar.
Well, the thing is that when it comes to Kick-Ass 2, the big things that were crappy about that comic can never be on screen because Mark Millar just went as insane as he possibly could, trying to instill shock value. Like,
So every one of his stories?
There was actually like a scene in that comic that made me stop reading the comic halfway through, and I've never read the rest of the story. Like,
What is
it pissed me off that much.
What is it?
It was the Prince of Persia of comic books.
I felt that way about Nemesis. Did you guys ever read that one?
No,
I read
I've
that.
heard horrible things.
The booby-trapped womb?
Yeah. The incest booby trap one.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like,
can't believe they're
he
still
did
trying to make that into a movie.
He did a similar thing in Kick-Ass 2 where he had the love interest from the first movie horribly raped by the villain, just for no reason.
'Cause it's fucking awesome and it's in your face. Yeah, Mark Millar, motherfucker.
I hate his writing, but the guy also gives to charity pretty extensively, so I don't know how to feel about this guy.
No,
He has
believe
a
me,
guilty
we all
conscience.
hate him. We all hate him.
Fuck Mark
don't-
Millar. It's a
We
piece
don't
of
hate
shit.
his money. We hate him.
I hate
Like,
his
he's
money,
a
too.
genuinely bad person.
Yeah. I mean, I think Grant Morrison said it best when he said, if I'm ever in Glasgow and I see Mark Millar, I hope I'm behind the wheel of a car going 60 miles per hour as I do.
I feel like we should take all the movies we've talked about and make alternate posters for them. And that'd be the tagline for Kick-Ass 2.
Just the entire Grant Morrison quote.
Yeah,
Keep
it'd
in
be like
mind, that's
Taken, where it's
Grant-
just that big block of text.
That's Grant Morrison, who could kill him psychically from across the country.
If he
He
cared
wants him
enough to
to
do it.
suffer.
Going
You
back
get
to
to enter the ectoplasmic realm and reach over there to Glasgow and murder him.
this chaos magic. Going back to Fox for a moment, the guy who's currently the what's his title exactly over there at Fox? Duke of their comic book movies is Mark Millar.
I have no idea, I just made that up. It might be Czar.
So
Ran Poobah.
that's a strike against the Wolverine.
Yeah. Luckily, no one seems to actually talk to him, so that's a step.
Yeah, it was like, it took weeks for him to get in contact with Bryan Singer.
They all knew. Just let him do his thing. Singer knows what he's doing by this point.
But, yeah, I mean, I'm honestly excited for Kick-Ass 2. I don't know if it'll be as good as the first one, just because the first one, like Hero said, was by Matthew Vaughn and Jane Goldman. who as a team are like
Peanut butter and chocolate.
Comic book sex.
They're Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman.
Speaking of great combinations, I am so excited for The World's End to end the Blood and Cornetto trilogy. We're finally going to see it, guys. We got the whole gang back together.
I'm so excited for that movie.
It's gonna be so good.
Have you seen that trailer? Oh my god.
Although, are you a little worried that the Invasion of the Body Snatchers thing maybe hems a little too close to the zombies from Shaun of the Dead? Or is that just me?
It's a little bit.
I doubt it. In theory, but I don't think Edgar Wright's going to repeat himself.
Yeah, I'm not worried because
Edgar Wright is not a
behind
guy who likes to repeat himself.
Very true. Except for the fence gag, and I'm glad there's that.
Fence gag was awesome to see. I'm curious how he said he plans World's End ties all three movies together. I'm curious.
There's a multiverse.
I like to think that
involving infinite pegs.
It's going to be like the Avengers. All the pegs are going to meet up.
I could see Edgar Wright doing that too. That's the fucked up thing.
And then there's Ant-Man in there too for no reason. And Scotty.
Scott Pilgrim shows up.
In my mind, Edgar Wright has not made a bad movie yet, so I can just mark this one as being one I have to go see. I don't even need to watch any of the other trailers or know anything else about it. Just the fact that it's coming out is enough for me.
It doesn't come out to August, but I'm just going to say 10 out of 10.
Best movie of the summer.
Yeah, there you go.
One of my favorite movies that I've seen within the last year for the first time was Hot Fuzz. I'd never seen it until last year.
Oh, such a great movie,
that
isn't it?
That is the most rewatchable comedy ever.
That is
that or Shaun of the Dead. So
that
either
is a
way.
genius. I like it even more than Shaun of the Dead, actually.
Same here.
I'm torn. I like Shaun a little bit more, but it holds a special place in my heart for being, the first one I saw.
Oh, which pussy is wetter? Oh, no.
Hot Fuzz is like the Watchmen of comedies. Like, every single time you watch it, you notice 20 jokes you missed the first time.
It has Dalton.
Oh, Dalton.
Looking at the camera and smiling.
This really hurts. Can I have some ice cream?
I'm a slasher of savings.
The prices.
Shams and hams. I referenced a deleted scene.
Good for you, hero.
Pat Hero on the back.
You did it. Good job. So yeah. World's End is going to be a great way to close out summer. But what else we got here? Are there any other big movies that we're kind of looking forward to that we missed?
I don't know about big, but we're all looking forward to Only God Forgives. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what that movie's about, but it's going to be so fucking beautiful. And it's going to have Ryan Gosling, and we're going to get lost in his eyes.
Aw, it's true.
Drive the Japan Saga.
With Japanese Ron Perlman.
In samurai armor.
He's there. It's actually a prequel to Pacific Rim where he fights the Kaijus.
This sounds racist for some reason.
Gosling inside a Gosling mech that also just looks like him.
It's a weapon. Mini sharpened Goslings.
Its weapon is handsome.
Its weapon is handsome. I like that.
So is there anybody here looking forward to World War Z? I didn't think so.
No.
That's weird. That teaser trailer. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Rolling Stone actually came out and said some positive things about it the other day, but that was very surprising.
I was excited for it when the teaser trailer broke, just because the way they were doing the zombies seemed interesting.
Yeah.
Like
Visually,
almost
I
like
want to see
big hive mind thing, like having them look like insects. But watching the trailer, I'll see it eventually, but nothing about it's particularly interesting.
Yeah, plus the PG-13 rating scares me off.
Oh, and it's PG-13. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they apparently agreed.
PG-13 zombie movie.
Well, they also put $200 million in it, and no zombie film has ever made like more than $100 million. So it's a pretty
no
tough
zombie movie
choice.
has had Brad Pitt, to be fair.
True. But from the way they described it, there's a really good piece in Vanity talking about all the issues with the movie. They agreed to make it PG-13, but when they were filming it, they didn't do it PG-13, and they butted heads with the producers on a lot of stuff. So we're going to get a PG-13 cut. There's not going to be a lot of blood, but they're going to try and push the edges on that PG-13, from my understanding. Like, zombies are going to get smacked in the head and all that kind of stuff. They just can't show the blood, which kind of neuters it a little bit.
It did look, like, from the trailers, it does look like a very watered-down zombie movie.
Yeah.
Especially the more recent trailers.
This kind of looks like War of the Worlds with zombies instead of aliens.
Yeah, that's enough to make me pass.
Hey, I liked War of the Worlds. It has crazy survivalist Tim Robbins being murdered in front of Dakota Fanning.
That's actually Hero's secret fetish.
He jerked off.
Just so hard to find material like that.
I've worn out that DVD.
Elysium?
Look, I just like seeing Tim Robbins get what's coming to him, okay?
Listen,
You said it too good.
Nobody
You probably
likes
love Green Lantern, don't you? All right, but yeah, Elysium looks like it's going to be great, even though I know nothing about it, other than the fact that Neil Blomkamp.
The trailer is bizarre, but
say,
it's going to
really.
be awesome.
Matt Damon's
love
pretty
how it-
awesome.
I like how it looks like nothing in particular. Like, the same thing with District 9. Like, that looks like something I've never seen before.
Yeah, so I don't know a lot about it yet, but I'll definitely be there. I love District 9 so much. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. And the special effects will probably be pretty darn good, too.
I'd probably have to see another trailer before I definitely want to go see it, but I mean, I have no reason not to. It's Neil Blomkamp, it's Matt Damon, who I really like.
Does it have Charlotte Copley in this, too?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay,
Matt
so I really like
Or maybe isn't Charlotte Copley in Pacific Rim?
I don't think he is.
I'm sure he's in a lot of things.
He's
He's
in
gonna be in,
everything.
I don't know, did you guys pay any attention to Europa Report?
Oh, yeah, I was going to bring that up, actually.
Yeah, like, that looks like it could be very interesting, although I'm not sure it'll air in a theater anywhere near me.
Probably not, but it looks pretty goddamn cool, though.
It could be fascinating, yeah. I'll have to give that a shot. But we also have Red 2. Is anyone a big Bruce Willis fan?
I'm actually looking forward. I won't see it in theaters, but I'm actually looking forward to it. I like the first one.
Oh, same.
Can't turn down the Malkovich.
I've never seen the first one, so
First one's good.
Yeah, it's not groundbreaking or anything, but it's a good use of time. It's entertaining.
It's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, fun is a good word for it.
It's the weakest link in that weird accidental trilogy of A-Team movies that were made that summer, where we got the A-Team, the Losers, and Red.
And the
I would
Expendables
say
later
the
that year.
Losers, actually. I would put Red above the Losers. But behind the A-Team.
Yeah, but every one of those movies had an evil CIA guy as the villain.
Yeah, well, that's just what you do.
and one of them was Patrick Wilson, which
The best one of them all.
Oh, going off Patrick Wilson, we haven't mentioned The Conjuring.
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
That, I've heard great things. Like, it's PG-13, but apparently... Well, no, it's actually R, but it's like, there's no content in there. They said that should get it an R rating. It's just apparently that well-made where it's very tense.
The trailer disturbed me.
I have not seen the trailer.
You should check it out. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it right now.
No,
Bye, everybody.
we're
I will not watch the
podcasting.
I will not watch the trailer again, but...
I will, but whatever.
and VHS 2 comes out.
Yes.
Limited, of course. But
Yeah, I won't see that until it hits Blu-ray, which is a bit of a shame. I just watched the trailer for it today, and it looked awesome. Although it makes me sad that the advertisements for it are like, even better than the first, much improved. It's like, I like the first one too, guys.
we'll see. Apparently it's a lot like the first one, where some of them are good, some of them aren't. But
Yeah, it's hit or miss.
Well, that's pretty much every anthology movie.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah, but VHS, it was a little bit stronger.
Yeah, VHS had some really, really bad segments, though. Sorry,
Especially the
Ty
rap-
West.
Mostly the wraparound.
I was hoping for a lot more from that wraparound.
I still don't understand what the fuck was going on there. It was just like, that was pointless.
They said the mythology in the next one's going to expand on that a little bit more, so hopefully by the time they're like done with VHS 3, we'll have an understanding what the wraparounds mean.
Hopefully.
Maybe. Well, probably not. But,
Staying with
otherwise...
Go on.
Oh, I was going to say for horror, the other thing I'm really looking forward to is You're Next, coming out at the end of August. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for it or heard anything about it, but everyone who's seen it is just gushing about how good it is.
That's the home invasion movie, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of a twist on it. Like, someone in the house actually is just as good as killing as the killers are.
Yeah.
So they turn the tables on the guys attacking.
I
Yeah,
didn't really
I
think about that.
I think that was going to be...
Does this also star The Collector?
I don't think so. I actually
is
just
all-
watched The Collector and I really enjoyed it.
I got to watch that.
Does
The
this
Collector and
also
The Collection
star
are
Ron
both
Perlman?
really good. I was surprised. I thought they would suck because I didn't like the last few Saw movies, but no, loved it.
Well, wait. Going back, MB raised a very good question. Does it also have Ron Perlman?
Unfortunately, no. Ron Perlman should be in every movie, but
He could
there's
be
only
in
so
the
much
after
of him to
credit
go
scene.
around.
You don't know. He could be in the after credit scene.
He's like Nick Fury in there.
I'm here to talk to you about the Ron Perlman initiative.
You can't be in it. You're not Ron Perlman.
Goodbye.
And he flies off in a jetpack.
It has Ron Perlman's face on it. In the same vein, The Purge.
Yeah, early reviews for it make it sound like it's not as good as the concept promises. You know, you've got a pretty cool concept where, you know, for 12 hours anyone can do any crime they want. So you better lock your house and hope no one breaks in.
That is fascinating.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea. The trailer made it look interesting. Early reviews make it sound like it's just another home invasion flick where the concept kind of gets forgotten.
Yeah, well...
But, hey, Ethan Hawke.
But, Ethan Hawke, who was good in that, in Sinister, though.
He's fantastic in Sinister, considering it's just him walking around dark hallways for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Waiting for work.
Did not like it.
You didn't like Sinister? We're not friends anymore.
Mixed feelings, I'll just say that.
Oh, man.
I like Sinister, Flexo.
Thank you. You're my new friend. You've been
I haven't seen
promoted.
Sinister.
Oh,
I'll hold judgment on you, MB. For now.
We're not friends.
You're in a queue for friendship. We'll see.
Staying in limited though, does anybody even know what I'm talking about when I bring up Byzantium?
I've heard of that, but I don't know.
Describe give us a synopsis. Maybe I'll recognize it if I.
It's directed by Neil Jordan. He directed Vampire.
That's all you had to say. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now I think about it, because that's the vampire movie that's going to star
Jennifer Furton. She's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that because it's Neil Jordan doing it. So.
And doesn't it take place in I believe either France or England or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
See, I get confused because they're coming out with that, and Jim Jarmusch is coming out with Only Lovers Left Alive, and they're both vampire movies. And for some reason in my head, they're interchangeable.
The Jim Jarmusch one is going to be easily recognizable because it's going to be fucking weird.
True.
You're going to read from the Book of the Samurai at one point. People will watch cartoons.
I have
a lot of
you leave feeling like you've learned something somehow.
But you don't know what.
I have two more limited movies to bring up.
Okay. What else?
One's gonna you guys don't even know it exists. I bet. But before we get to that,
building this up.
Is it The Ghastly Love of Johnny X?
Maybe.
Oh, that's already out. Never mind.
Before I bring that one up, let's bring up Frankenstein's Army.
You saw that too.
That's still coming? I thought that just had been delayed forever and then forgotten.
It comes out in July.
Oh, okay. That's not the one with Aaron Eckhart, right?
No, that's Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of this one.
This one's made for no money. Hold on, because I love the synopsis for this one, so I brought it up. I pulled it up to read.
I discovered that today while looking at summer movies.
The trailer for it's fucking bizarre, but you see the concept art for it. It's pretty cool. Toward the end of World War II, Russian soldiers pushing into eastern Germany stumble across a secret Nazi lab. One that has unearthed and begun experimenting with the journal of one Dr. Victor Frankenstein. The scientists have used the legendary Frankenstein's work to assemble an army of super soldiers stitched together from the body parts of their fallen comrades.
Dun, dun, dun.
A desperate Hitler's last ghastly ploy to escape defeat.
Dun, 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 dun.
I was waiting for it.
And only Axel can stop.
Actually, that does sound entertaining, but considering it's a limited release, I'll have to wait for DVD. Is Hitler like one of the Frankensteinian monsters?
I hope it's like a secret Wolfenstein movie. And now for the big one.
Drum roll.
On August 2nd, in limited release, could be in a city near you, Top Cat.
What?
Top Cat,
the movie, animated in wondrous Flash.
Wait. You're gonna have to remind me. Nope, Top Cat is something different. I was thinking of SWAT Cats.
No,
that would be even better.
Excited,
yeah. I'd be like, why the fuck aren't we watching it right now? We'd be camping outside of a theater somewhere, waiting for goddamn SWAT Cats. It doesn't come out for 3 goddamn months. That's what we'll be waiting for.
Well, that's why I was confused. Like, why is SWAT Cats getting a limited release?
Mike, I'm going to make a pact with you right now on air. If you and I ever become Hollywood directors, our first movie, SWAT Cats.
Live action SWAT Cat.
Yes.
Radical Squadron.
Yes, Top Cat is a movie made independently.
So you're going to have to remind me. I have no idea what this is.
It's an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon. It's who I based my entire life and personality on.
It's Sergeant Bilko, but he's a cat.
You know my avatar. You know
Also
my
maybe
avatar.
a pimp.
You know my avatar on Facebook.
Yeah, that's him.
That's Top Cat.
Gotcha. I think I remember seeing some of his stuff on Boomerang years ago.
Yet again,
Why is this happening now?
I don't know, but
I think you made this movie.
it's well.
You just forgot about it.
I think it may involve robots, so I'm not sure if I did. But I
You
have.
would add robots to something that wouldn't need robots.
That is true.
Everything needs robots.
I've
Even
watched.
Victorian pieces.
You can watch. If you look it up, you can watch a trailer. It's weird. Like the characters are in 2D, but the backgrounds are like kind of vaguely 3D. So it has a really weird feeling to it. Once again, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's animated in Flash. And there's also scenes from it you can watch. It's interesting.
Are we sure that this is an officially licensed Top Cat movie and somebody just didn't make their own Top Cat movie on their computer and then sneak it into theaters?
They spelled Top Cat with a K, so it's totally legal.
Listen, that could be possible. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up right now. See who the fuck made this thing.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm just going to touch on a few of the... just waiting music. But we're almost at the end of our episode here. I just want to touch on a few other things people should keep an eye out for that I'm excited for, but I probably can't see, so I'm going to experience them through the viewer if you're lucky enough to see them. We have All the Boys Love Mandy Lane finally getting released after like 12 years. I don't know. It's like 2006 it came out originally, internationally. We're finally getting it, so that's exciting. If you like slasher films, hey, recommend it. We already covered Europa Report. Could be cool. Otherwise, what was the other one I was thinking of here? We already talked about the Lone Ranger. Oh, we didn't talk about Monsters University at all.
Oh yeah, that's coming out.
Yeah.
No, that's all right.
Okay,
It's
we mentioned
Pixar. It's Pixar. It could be okay.
Oh, we didn't mention White House Down.
We didn't mention White House Down at all. It's understandable though.
The other Olympus has fallen.
Oh, and we didn't mention the Smurfs too.
Oh, damn it! So much.
Shit, we have to carve out time for the to-do list.
There were actually two movies I was kind of surprised we didn't get to. This is the End, considering you get to see every Hollywood comedian playing themselves in a movie about the apocalypse. So, really, I mean, if you don't like Michael Cera, he's probably going to die.
He dies pretty gruesomely in the trailer.
Oh, that's a confirmation.
After slapping Rihanna's ass, which is pretty awesome. He's playing against type.
Ew. It's a good time for him. He's got that. He's got the new Arrested Development. Everything's coming up, Sarah.
I just want to say this. Apparently, this Top Cat movie was made in Mexico.
Oh.
because Top Cat is apparently fucking huge in Mexico. So they went to Warner Brothers saying, can we make a Top Cat movie? Warner Brothers said, we own the rights to that? Fine. This is also the first ever Flash animated film to be converted and released in real 3D.
Wow.
So what's the Mexican word for top? Like, how would you say Top Cat in Spanish? Delgado, but what's top?
Why are you asking me, man?
I ask questions. That's how I learn.
Oh, it's Don Gato y su Pandilla.
That sounds like a mouthful.
That seems like a lot. Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna see this movie now.
This is the plot, by the way. Top Cat and the gang face a new police chief, who is not at all happy with the poor Officer Dribble's performance trying to prevent Top Cat's scams. So he makes robots.
Of course.
It's Mexico, so the police chief is corrupt.
Is making robots corrupt? That just sounds like they're improving industry. Maybe in this one, Top Cat is the villain. Think about that.
It's like Mexican Spider-Man.
Oh, God. Oh, man. And the last movie I was going to bring up, coincidentally, comes out like June 7th, so it's coming out sooner than everything else. Much Ado About Nothing. I know Mike is Joss Whedon's #1 fan, so he's going to be there opening day.
Sorry, I had something in my throat.
To be fair, Whedon's dialogue probably isn't going to exist. Did they adapt it with, like, all of Shakespeare's lines?
That is true.
I think so.
I think it's black and white. It's filmed at Joss Whedon's house, like, when he's taking a break from making the Avengers. Like, he filmed it in a weekend at his house.
Did the movie get canceled halfway through filming?
It'll end on a cliffhanger 45 minutes in.
Someone dies. One of the actors dies.
It'll make a big twist. Like, I haven't even seen Much Ado About Nothing, the original play, or any of that, but he'll probably get attached to somebody and kill them for no reason. Probably Nathan Fillion.
No, you can't kill Nathan Fillion. It's in his contract.
He refuses to die. People shot him in real life. He just didn't fall over.
Have you ever seen Nathan Fillion die in a movie?
I haven't.
He gets
never
shot.
will.
He gets shot in the head. He pulls out the contract that says explicitly that he can't die. Read this.
He gives it to God.
You know, I've never seen Nathan Fillion and the Grim Reaper in the same room at the same time together.
Man, if Nathan Fillion is death, then I'm going to be happy to go.
That
It's
would
like Neil
explain
Gaiman's
why
death.
Firefly got canceled. He couldn't control himself one day.
Ah.
Killed the show.
I just want to have one more Top Cat fact.
Mike Napier on Top Cat Watch.
It came out in Mexico and Brazil on September 16th, 2011.
He's been biding his time ever since, waiting to come to America.
Oh,
Steal
wow.
the jobs,
now.
good, upstanding animated movies.
It already came out in Kuwait.
Kuwait got this shit before us?
It's insulting.
Now I'm just offended.
Who expects Kuwait?
All of our Kuwait listeners have just stopped listening. They hate us now.
Box Office Pulp would like to apologize to the citizens of Kuwait.
To the following countries. And it's just a long list. It's like a globe.
But it's a text list and it's an audio podcast, so it doesn't really.
If you're from a country that's currently being offended, we apologize. Canada.
Dun, 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 dun,
We refuse to apologize for Mexico.
dun, dun.
Mexico.
They know what they did.
So that's about our time for today. Any closing thoughts about the summer? Pretty optimistic then? Everyone excited?
Should be cool.
Personally, I can't wait for Pearl of Steel.
Pearl of Steel. Yeah, it even sounds cool.
Oh, white pearl just all over your face. Had to
Yeah,
get one
and
more
with that,
in.
we're gonna
Had
end
to
the
get one
episode.
more in. Had to get one more in.
We need like a little counter.
Every time
Was
we
that
make
tings or dings?
No.
Ding, 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 ding.
You're not bringing up Trident Man.
Wolverine fights the Trident Man.
Wow, I would.
Well, then
slap the
Wolverine can't
fuck
win.
out of that movie.
Wolverine probably made the Trident Man.
I'm not healing.
Someone give me tridents. Alrighty.
But yeah, this is the first summer where I can say I'm going to go see at least 3 movies.
Fucking big
It's a new record for me.
Box Office Pulp recommends Summer 2013.
I'll be driving at least 12 hours to go see Top Cat.
You should have just already gone down to
Somebody
Mexico.
has to.
He'll return with fireworks.
Mike, will you please watch Top Cat, then come back and do a review for us?
I
I
have
am
to report on
100%
it.
I
serious.
fucking promise so much. I will do a 2-hour review of Top Cat as soon as I see it.
That's on tape now. You can't take that back.
I will do a live commentary of just me talking while I'm watching it. Like, oh, the robots are coming
This is-
now. This is amazing.
This is just like my life.
It's so real. It's like looking at a mirror.
A flash mirror.
I cheer every time a character comes on. Oh my god! It's Benny.
I
Wait.
do have one final thought.
No. Alright, go ahead. Just one. Are we gonna make this a round? Are You guys are terrible.
I was doing good.
But I'm stopping this. This is done. We're done. Alrighty, folks. That's gonna
This
be a
series of
wrap.
podcasts is over.
It's finished. We're done.
Box office.
That's a wrap. For more oral with an A, pleasure, tune into our sister podcast, Pulp Nightmare with MB and Mike, the off-panel podcast with the Dork Knights.
What?
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 What? What?
Dun, dun, dun. Sorry.
Below the Bible Belt, hosted by Hero. And if you've actually enjoyed this podcast and refuse to broaden your horizons, you can find more of us at boxofficepulp.blogspot.com or on iTunes, or both. Go crazy.
Or on Facebook.
You can find us on Facebook. Drop us some comments on our Facebook page. insults. We'll take them. We're tough. Whatever. Go ahead. And while you're up, get us some malted milk balls. Good night.
And like that, he's gone.
And scene.
Dun, 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 dun.
That was a weird ending.
Bane busts a beat.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Time to take this theme mobile.
He starts going down the street with a boombox.
Yeah, drop a beat, DJ.